Okay, we're recording now, so that's awesome. So today we are going to be talking about ways to expand your business and network with new people, aka new customers, new hostesses, new teammates, new VIP customers, right? Even just new eyes on your business. Right. So important because sometimes they don't purchase right away, but they're watching and they're intrigued and they're enjoying seeing you share Scentsy. And so I am a firm believer that expanding your network is so extremely important. And so we're going to be chatting about that today. And we're going to be talking a little bit about parties in different ways that parties can help you expand your network and grow your business and get high PRV and new VIP customers. And then we're going to be talking about like the unparty, with the way that social media is changing and how direct sales have changed over the years, and even how COVID has made an impact on parties. We're going to talk about unparties in different ways that you can still grow your business and meet new people outside of parties too, which um, I'm super passionate about because I haven't done a home party in over a year now, you guys. And much like many of you, my business blew up in 2020. We had extreme hyper growth, and I had many new customers in my business. And a lot of them were from Facebook parties towards the end of the year. But at the beginning of the year, when COVID was new and we were all just kind of getting into a new groove with how our business was working, my business expanded dramatically online, which is really awesome, especially when things are kind of still the same way right now. And so we're going to be talking about that. But Bree's also going to be sharing about parties and like themed parties. And she's done really well at themed parties. And it's a really great way that she's had meeting new customers and increasing PRV and getting people hooked on Scentsy. So we hope that these tips and tricks give you good ideas to start trying and implementing. And just remember, the only way that you won't grow in this business is if you don't do anything, right? There is so much content out there. There are so many different ways to work your business that there is something for you out there that will work. Okay. If you are having trouble booking parties, finding customers, getting PRV, getting VIP customers, you have to look inward and ask yourself, what am I doing or not doing? What can I do differently? Where am I missing the mark? Because there are so many ways to work this business. You have to do a little soul searching and be honest with yourself and ask yourself, am I trying everything? Have I done the work and the digging and the learning that I need to do to take my business to the next step and learn more? Okay. Or try new things. And I think it's so important, you guys, especially going into 2021, just a reminder that you have to implement the things you're learning. You can watch training all day, every day. But if you don't take the tangible information that you're learning, writing down, thinking that's a great idea, seeing other people do, if you're not taking that and running with it and trying it yourself, at least trying it, right? If you're not doing that, then you're one, wasting your time watching all these training videos and, learning new things. You're wasting your time by not moving. Okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to purchase every single thing to make it look like how Bree does it or how I do it or how Chloe Cox does it or someone else you see. Okay. Like, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. And you can learn along the way. Okay. So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to not know everything. Don't be paralyzed by not knowing or understanding everything. Just move, just do something consistently. Okay. Don't do it half assed. Don't do it to where people are excited and then you fizzle out and they're wondering, is that person still a consultant? Because people are always going to default to what is convenient. And what I mean by that is if you're following up with your customers and you're sharing Scentsy consistently and you're sharing the Scentsy lifestyle and you're checking in and letting them know about promotions or sales or when you're closing an order, that makes it very convenient for your customers to think of you, to order with you. Okay. If your potential customers or your past customers are having to wonder, how do I order? How do I get in touch? Is this person still a consultant? That is not convenient for them. It is more convenient at that point for them to go to Target and grab a wax bar. Okay. You have to make it convenient for your customers, and that can look so many different ways. But the number one way is by being consistent and providing good customer service. Okay. So we can talk about all these different ways to meet new customers, to get high PRV, to party, to unparty, to like network. We can talk about all these ways, but if you're not doing these things consistently, and I don't just mean one thing, right? I mean like working your business consistently, because maybe you try something and it doesn't work. You don't have to be consistent at something that isn't working, but you have to just be consistent at your business in a whole, right? And that can mean you're trying a bunch of different things, but at the base of it, you're there, you're sharing your lifestyle with Scentsy, and you're providing good customer service. Okay. So when you do that, matched with learning new things and implementing that in your business, that's where you get those reoccurring customers. That's where you get those VIP customers. That's where you build the trust. Okay. So recognize that we're going to be talking about things to enhance your business, but the base of your business is consistency and good customer service. That's the base of it. You cannot build on a rocky base. Okay. So if your base is not solid, start there and then build the other bricks to your business. Okay. That's how you build a strong foundation to your business. The new ideas for parties and networking is all great, but you have to make sure that you have a solid base. And that's where I say, make that decision to go for it. And then do not waver from that, no matter what. Hard months, personal stuff, tired, sick, kids, life. Do not waver from the decision to take your business seriously, because what you're doing is you're building trust. Okay. And you don't want to lose that trust with your customers, because once that trust is gone, it's really hard to build back. Okay, guys. So, with all of that being said, I'm going to throw it to Bree, because she's going to kind of jump in and talk about parties and theme parties and different ways to build and grow your business and your network with parties. And if you guys have any questions, post them in the chat. I know there's going to be a few videos that will be like actual like meat and potatoes videos. Like say she talks about a bingo party, there is a whole bingo party training that we'll be referencing after this video. So we're not going to go like detail by detail on how to do a bingo party. So there will be other content that we'll be referencing to this, but if you do have questions, ask them in the chat box and then we'll answer them as we go or at the end. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself and pass it to you, Bree.
Okay. All right, you guys. Like Alex said, I hope you guys are excited for tonight, because I do feel like that this is really good content to move into 2021 with, and we're all just trying to maneuver and still get used to like this social distance kind of business that we're trying to run for the most part. And parties pre-COVID were such a huge deal, and it's not that they're not a huge deal anymore, but we have to continually evaluate what's working and what's not, because before, home parties 90% of the time always worked. And so now we look at online parties, and who's tried an online party and had it flop during COVID? Like me. Yeah. Okay. So like it's really difficult to be motivated to do an online party when it flops, and it's really hard to sometimes get your customers or people excited to do another online party. And that's why we do have to look at this format in which we do online parties, how we ask, how we promote them, what we're talking about, and what it looks like on our end and for our host, what we have to constantly be reevaluating that. And you guys, we want to try to make it as simple as possible because we don't want this to be such a drain in our business that we throw out the baby with the bathwater in the sense of like writing off parties altogether. Because at the base of parties, the purpose of it, like Alex said, is PRV and networking with other people, meeting new customers. And throughout the last 10 months or so, you may have had no problem getting PRV. I had maybe just a handful of parties and did just fine PRV wise during COVID, because my customers knew where to find me. I was consistent and it was fine. But I can tell you, especially walking into this season, you don't want to rely on what last year may have brought to you, and not be prepared to step into doing parties and doing them well, this next year. Okay. And so this is something that, as far as parties go, it's something that's constantly changing. So I want you guys to know that, like, maybe we're going to put this on YouTube, but maybe in 6 months it's not really relevant anymore. Maybe we're having to do something completely different. And so that's part of the growth mindset that Sensi really encourages, is to always be ready to relearn or teach yourself something different with what we are learning. Okay. So but I this is my personal focus as far as parties go, and how I'm going to try to continue to network with new people and continue to get high PRV, because I do know the value of parties. So, obviously, online parties. I will say, if you have a customer base, maybe you're not in California and you're locked down completely 100%, because our governor hates us. I'm sorry, it's true. Maybe you're somewhere else and you're able to like have a gathering, or you're willing to do a sniff session at your house with a few people, anything like that, then I say do it. Like, if your customers are comfortable with that and they're ready to open up their homes and they have people going and you're comfortable with it, always, always, always do the home party thing. And if you've never done that before and that scares you, it freaks you out or whatever, please, please reach out and ask, because I would do anything to have a home party right now. Like, I literally would do anything. Um, but if you can do a home party, do that. Dive into that, because they are so, I want to say magical, but really it's truly like the best thing ever. So, home parties above all, if we ever get back to that at its full force, I will highly recommend it. So don't be afraid. Maybe in California, be afraid, but if you're in other states, don't be afraid to like ask and just be like, hey, would you be willing to whatever? And if they say no, then they say no. And if they say yes, then like hit the ground running, because that's a blessing. But obviously, online parties. And so, I'm just going to go over what I feel like are important things to remember. If you don't know how to do an online party, again, I'm not going to get into like details of how to run an online party, scheduling posts, all these different formats that you can do. I'm not going to get into that uh, right now, or specifics, because what I want to focus on are the key points of having an online party, like the details. And then obviously there's other things that go into it, but just the general overview of what an online party should look like and the content that should be involved. And so, right off the bat, uh, verbiage for having parties, verbiage for talking to your customers about booking parties, all of that is so important. Okay. I don't remember who it was, but it's probably better. Somebody had posted something and saying, I can't book parties. This is what I'm writing. And what they wrote was perfect. What they said was great in the content. Like, it was sweet. Um, it was great. It was great content. The only problem, not problem, but the only piece of advice that I would give is to make it shorter. And because we have this tendency to want to give everybody all the information all at once, and tell them all the details right then and there, and go into the specifics of like how this is going to work so that they have everything that they need. And I got to be honest with you, in a lot of situations inside of our Sensi world, that is really not necessary. We don't have to word bomb it, and I say that with love, but we don't have to word bomb it on people to get them to say yes. And more often than not, it freaks people out, right? So if they have to read this big long message about what an online party, just being asked to do an online party, their thought may go immediately to, oh my gosh, if that was just the invitation to do an online party, imagine what the party is going to be look like. Like, I can't imagine what my to-do list will say, and so we have to be careful with the verbiage, and less is definitely more in that regard. So and again, there are a lot of things that can help you with this, but short and sweet and to the point. And it's something that we've actually talked about a lot. And even before COVID, we always said take the word party out of it. Okay. I don't know what it is with this weird, because I love a good party. Like, sign me up. But a lot of people have this negative connotation when it comes to direct sale parties. So many people get mass invited to them, they're not fun, you get spammed with 20 of them, like, and that may be true with what's going on with COVID right now. Like, all of the direct sale people are having all the parties, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, they're just trying to do what we do, and it's fine. But when we can distance ourselves from the words that make it difficult for people to get on board with, we can draw people in, and it could be exactly that. It's just a Facebook party, and it may look exactly like the party that they had a year ago, but when we remove that word, all of a sudden it becomes more engaging. And so, like Alex has talked about a lot of the times, having personal shopping links, offering the personal shopping links, or a personal shopping event, or I like to call it a bash. You want to have an online bash, or even just saying, can I open up a link for you? I'll create a little page. You can invite a couple of your friends, and let me just showcase some stuff that's coming up. Taking the word party out of it can do wonders. So if you are asking people, hey, do you want to come host a Facebook party for me? And you're not getting a response, or people are telling you no, look at what you're saying and take out the word party. Rearrange a couple words, add in a couple fun words, some exclamation points, some emojis, whatever, and then try again. Probably not with that same person, but like, try again with somebody else and see what kind of response you get. Okay? Because there is, I don't know what it is, but there's just a hang up with some verbiage that happens, and I want you guys to be equipped with the knowledge that that matters. Okay? So with that, I like to this is something that is going to differ from consultant to consultant. But a big thing for me that works really well when it comes to online parties, specifically online parties, I didn't have to like pull people in so much to do home parties, but for online parties, it's a little bit more of a push. Incentives, okay, extra incentives, right? Because like, getting free and half off Scentsy is really great, and a lot of people can be motivated by that. But if you add something extra on top of that, like, if you're standing in the Target checkout line and you've got a 10% off coupon on your Target Circle, and the cashier says, oh, wait, I've got an extra 20% off coupon on top of that, sign me up. Okay. Or if they're like, oh, you can get one more and it'll be half off. Okay. I'm walking down that aisle and I'm going to go grab that. So those extra incentives pull people in so much. So again, this will differ across consultants. You can offer whatever your little heart desires. And again, this is not necessary. You don't have to do this. But I want to make sure you hear me clearly. It can be as simple as a scent circle. It can be simple as a sample pack, like a bulk sample pack. It can be as extravagant as a warmer. Anywhere in between, you can literally choose whatever you would like this to look like. But an extra addition, the sprinkles on the cake, can change people's response. And it's just that extra freebie, you guys. And call it greedy, but I'm here for it. And if it gets you that party booked, then why not? Okay, so let me explain how I do this. First off, the extra incentives that I offer are just like the rewards that they're working towards inside their party. If they don't hit the minimum to get those rewards, then they don't get those rewards. The same is true for my incentives. If you don't get a qualifying party, you don't get that promised incentive. Okay, so if I say you get a free counter clean, but your party doesn't hit 200 200 in PRV, then I'm not giving you a free counter clean. That's the agreement there. Okay, so it's up to you to make sure that you are clear with your customers when you talk about that. And so, like, I know Alex says at the close of your party, you'll get a counter clean, or when your party hits rewards. And so, whatever verbiage you want to tack on to that, do, but make sure that you're not putting yourself out when you have these parties that turn out to be duds or flops. You're not dishing out all this product or money or whatever for people who didn't earn it. And that's not wrong to say. That is just what it is. They don't get the $20 in free credit and the half off if they didn't hit 200. So, and another reason why I do that is if I'm doing product, I'm using that perpetual party reward to get that product at a lesser cost, right? Because that perpetual party reward on our party, in an open party on our workstation, is an extra half off. So if I promise you a counter clean, I'm using it in the perpetual party reward. And instead of paying $10 to gift that to you, I'm getting it for $5, and they don't know that. And they get their extra reward that they were promised. I can't get that half off if you don't reach rewards. Again, they don't know that, but just that's a consultant no. And that's working smarter. Okay. So do offer rewards. And again, a counter clean is a very relatively cheap incentive. And so something that I am doing with the new catalog, with that being said, I just thought of it today. I am doing those scratch offs that we've used them in the past, and now it's being revamped for the scavenger hunt that Christina Stainbrook did. I did not make these cards. I believe they are posted on our True Life page. We can share them again. But these business cards are super easy to make and print out and whatever, and you get the little scratch off thing. These are used for, you can use them for a lot of different reasons, but the scavenger hunt has been a hit with the new catalogs. What I thought of is that I'm going to use the same template that she has on here for these. So this is the scratch off, but I made my own rewards for the inside of it. And I put free mini warmer, free counter clean, free 6-pack of bars. And I made a bunch of different business cards that said that. And I put the scratch off sticker on there. And then what I am doing is when people are doing their scavenger hunt, there is a question on it about how much in rewards do you have to get to earn such and such. If you have a party in person, online, or on the go, get 500 in sales, you would get how much product, blah, blah. Which means that if they are doing the scavenger hunt, they have to turn to the page that talks about hosting a party. So what did I do? I also included the scratch off there so that they see it. And I changed the word. I had to change the word on the scratch off that says party, but then there's going to scratch that off and they're going to send it to me and they're going to go, what's this? I'm going to say, when you book a party, when it hits rewards, you'll get that as an extra incentive for booking the party. Okay, so that's an extra little treat in here that my customers won't know about, but it's inside the catalog. It's part of the scavenger hunt that they're already doing. And I'm going to try to book some parties using the spring and summer catalog scavenger hunt. So that's how I'm doing it with this new catalog season. You could obviously, and I actually plan on using that, like, whenever I do need to book parties, I'm just going to start sticking them in people's orders and putting a little note on it that says, if you want to book a party, scratch this off and send it to me and tell me when you want to book it. And using that throughout the season, because I do like to offer incentives, and I'm only putting incentives on there that I am okay with rewarding them with. I'm not going to put on there free $500 if I don't plan on doing that. Like, that's not fair. So, that is how I'm doing my incentive program right now. You can edit your newsletter every month. You have an opportunity on your workstation to edit your newsletter. These incentives are considered a personal special. So you would have to talk to your customers about this one-on-one and privately. Your newsletter that's on your workstation that you are able to edit every month is considered one-on-one communication. So anything you want to put in there, you can put in there. And that goes for incentives for parties. And so there have been many a times where I have put in there, you get a free the big tub of washer whips, whatever, in my newsletter. So that's a real simple way, takes the hard work out of it for you, and you can do it month by month and have people reach out to you that way, or people who you know are subscribed to your newsletter, because you can see that in your workstation. You can then reach out to them and be like, hey, did you read the newsletter? Are you interested in booking a party? That kind of thing. Okay, moving away from incentives. The next thing that's really important for you guys to remember when doing any kind of online parties, whatever you land on, if you have a host, the hostess coaching is the most important thing you should be focusing on. Okay, your posts aren't going to matter. Your pretty pictures you find on Pinterest aren't going to matter. It's not going to matter how pretty your background or your cover photo is on the event. None of that is going to matter if your host is not doing what she needs to be doing, and she won't know what to do if you, as the consultant, are not communicating with her. Okay, and again, we have videos talking about hostess coaching, so I'm not going to go into that, but I want you to know that that is so important. And a lot of the time when parties fail, we can trace it back to hostess coaching and that it was not done properly. Okay, now sometimes it's just a flop. I always say timing does play a role in a lot of our business. Timing can be everything. It can be the best thing, it can be a real bummer. Okay, so I'm not saying it's your fault that you didn't do it right or whatever. Sometimes we do everything we possibly can and it still flops, and that's okay. But if you are not hostess coaching, if you are not telling your hostess what you are requiring of her and what her role is in her own party, then you are missing the mark. And unless you have a bomb hostess who already knows how to do it, you might struggle. And I don't want that for you. It's unfair to the people who are invited. It's unfair to the host, and it's a waste of your time. And your time is so valuable. I don't want you spending 5 days planning out all these posts, doing all of these things, and reaching out to all these people when the host is not doing what she needs to be doing because the work in the beginning wasn't done. Okay, so hostess coaching is so important. And the last part of parties that I want you guys to keep in mind, online parties, doesn't matter what it is. Um, Three things that I like to think about as like a general rule of thumb and outline for my parties is short, sweet, and knockout customer service. Okay. So I like a lot of customers I find struggle with this because of how other direct sales do their parties, and there's nothing wrong with it. But you are the business owner when it comes to Scentsy, which means you get to create your own rules. Okay, so don't feel like you have to. If your hostess says, "I want my party to go on for 7 days or 14 days," I want it to go on for 2 weeks. I want to wait till my next payday. I want to extend it. Can you keep doing? You are in control of your business. Okay. And I just told you time is valuable. Do not extend out a party for 2 weeks and try to come up with 2 weeks worth of content because that's what your host wants to hit this payday. I've had that happen a lot. And I just tell my host, how about we plan it closer to the payday? We'll just plan it for this time because the reality of it is that people are going to buy when they can, and if it doesn't work out this time we'll try again later, but I'm not planning 14 days of content for an event. I'm not. I can't. I have other things going on in my business, and so keeping and everybody's time frame for which they think their successful parties are, that's up to you. You get to decide. I find that my best parties are between 3 and 5 days, and usually the first day and the last day are like buffers, right? Where it's like the introduction. And then the last day is like, okay, last call for orders. Okay, or party's closed. Thanks. Nice to meet you all. Here's my VIP. Like first and last are buffers. And then the middle part is like the meat and potatoes. And it's where I'm doing my busy work. And there's a lot of stuff going on, but I want it boom, done. Okay. Um, because if you've ever been part of and maybe you enjoy this, but for me, if I get invited to a party, an online party, and it's going on 6, 7, 10 days, and there's like I stop paying attention. I forget to order, stop paying attention. I just Sometimes I leave the group, I leave the event. I'm not interested anymore. Okay. I want to know, what do I need to know so I can go in and make my order. That's it. Okay. Yeah, I may be here to spend money, but let me get it done. And a lot of the time, I find that when I do it like that, I get all of my orders within the first day and a half on online orders, and I don't get them at the end. I put out so much content in the beginning that I get the bulk of it then, because people see what they want already and they're done. And I offer up the digital catalog in the beginning. I send out the mail in the beginning. So people already know. Why am I going to waste my time waiting another week? I don't need to do that. Short, what I mean by sweet is, y'all do good work in these online parties, okay? Don't give them the leftovers of you're burnt out from your VIP or whatever. You want to put in your best work when it comes to um, online parties, because unfortunately, and sometimes fortunately, like, this is people's first impression of you as a Scentsy consultant. And how you interact, what you say, what you post, all of that could be the reason that somebody reorders from you, somebody decides to join, somebody books a party. Like, all of that could be a game changer. We're no longer inviting people over to somebody's house and you get to go there and you're all dolled up and you're all cute and you get to make a great first impression because you're excited and you're standing up there and you get to talk and sit with them and like tell them what tester. You don't get to do that. So your online Facebook, whatever party is your first impression. So you need to make it the best yet. Okay. And giving your best. And that's another reason why I say keep it short. Ain't nobody can be all smiley for 14 days. Okay. I can't do it. Nope. 2 weeks, I'm done. Okay. I am no longer smiley. I am burnt out. 3 to 5 days, I'm good. Okay. And so scheduling your post, doing whatever you have to do, but make it the best content you can. Okay. And then knock out customer service. Are you following up with those customers after they ordered? Are you texting them like you do your regular customers? Are you sending them happy mail? Are you commenting back when they comment on things? Like, your customer service, again, it goes back to the first impression. Your customer service will be what they remember. Every time they look at their warmer in their kitchen, they're going to think of, oh, yeah, I got that at such and such party. Oh, the consultant was kind of weird, but like, really love my warmer. And then when she goes to reorder wax, is she going to be like, oh, I can't wait to reorder from her? Or when your name pops up on her phone, how's she going to feel? Okay. Knock out customer service. If you struggle in this area for whatever reason, then we need to talk. Okay. Because customer service is the reason that people will reorder. People can get Scentsy from anywhere. People can go on Scentsy.com and order Scentsy from Joe Blow down the street. And that's fine. I mean, whatever. But if you want to have repeat customers and if you want to have customers that are referring you to other people, your customer service is going to be what does that 100%. Your customer service has to stand out. And that does not mean spend a lot of money, does not mean be fake, it does not mean be anything other than your authentic, intentional self. Authenticity and being intentional. Be intentional with what you are doing. And just like Alex said, be consistent. Don't open up a Facebook party, post for 2 days and then disappear for a week and be like, okay, party's closing. Like, what are we doing? Like, don't do that. Right? Be intentional and be yourself. Be your best self. Okay. I'm just going to go through some really quick ideas for different ways to have online type of events, but that are not just your run of the mill like online parties, because those are fine, those are great, we can rock with those. But if you are looking for a way to do something different, spice it up, intrigue a different set of people, I feel like, yeah, just intrigue a different set of people, you're gonna want to write these down. Okay. Bingo parties. I love bingo parties. I haven't done them in a while. I'm about to bring them back. Bingo parties are so much fun, even from a consultant's standpoint. And I know Jessica has done them. Bingo parties are the bomb.com. Okay. They are a blast. And so I believe I've done the training on True Life, and we will boost that back up, but it is super simple. Okay, it's a lot of information, but it is a really simple way to bring in a lot of people for a game night that is Scentsy related. Like it's just a lot of fun. I've had a lot of customers do it and they love it. Okay. So bingo nights, really fun way. Mystery host parties are amazing, you guys. Okay. And I'm sure you've probably been a part of them or you've seen them, but if you haven't, they're awesome. The gist of it is that as you take orders for your customers and you get to be the host, what you would do in turn is you can put yourself as the host or whatever, but everybody who orders under that party would be entered in to win the rewards at the end of such and such date. Okay. What does that do? It's a no pressure way to get people, first of all, ordering. Okay. And then it's a fun way for people to have a chance to win the rewards that they didn't have to do anything for except order. Like all I have to do is go on and order and I could win $20 in free credit or whatever. Sign me up. Okay. Every time my friends host one of those, I order because I'm like, yeah, shoot, I don't have to do anything. And you as the consultant should be really excited about that because you don't have to do anything. It's no post, it's no nothing. I usually do these in my VIPs or my VIPs, like I have more than one. My VIP, okay. I do it every well, I didn't do it at all last year, but I used to do it like every 6 months. I would do 2 weeks of VIPs, or 2 weeks of, oh my gosh, you guys, my brain. 2 weeks, I would have this party open. So I would hit a couple different pay periods, right? People get paid on the 15th, and then at the beginning of the month, I would hit those. And I would say this party link is open. You can order on it, blah, blah, blah. But people loved it. People loved it. My mystery host parties were pre-COVID, were the parties that got up to $800,000 because people were just so excited at the possibility of winning. Okay. So if you haven't done a mystery host, that is a great way to boost sales. I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time. Okay. It's like one of those things where it gets old really fast. If it keeps happening, keeps happening. So like I said, space it out a little bit, maybe every 6 months, maybe you do it around your birthday, like whatever you want to do to make it fun, that's fine. But definitely try a mystery host. I think I'm going to do one at the end of this month to do like a whole saying goodbye to the season. And then another great idea is a themed night. Okay, let me address the questions because I was a part of a call that talked about the pay to play. So here's the thing with mystery host. The mystery host is not considered a personal special. You can talk about it on your VIPs, whatever. That is fine. Okay. The pay to play part comes into what you have to do now is it cannot be the winner of the host rewards cannot be random. So what that means is you would have to say the person who places the biggest order will win. The 7th person to order wins. The 10th so people know what that spot for winning entails. Does that make sense? Yes, no, no. Okay. So it can't be, I can't say I'm having a mystery host and at the end of it, I'm going to pick a winner. And I can't just go to my random wheel and pick a winner. I have to say, I'm having a mystery host. The winner of the mystery host will be the 7th person who places an order. And you can let that go on. You can let that go on until the 20th person places the order. But then you would say, okay, the 7th person who placed the order is Leslie. She won the mystery host. Does that make sense? So again, if you're picking the person who placed the biggest order, it could be Brandy who placed a $50 order. I could let it go on for 2 weeks, and at the end of 2 weeks, I said, okay, Brandy placed the biggest order back on the 2nd. She won the mystery host. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. I don't think uh uh I don't think that I have done an updated video about the mystery host, and so I will have to do that. And again, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. The pay to play came up a lot because of the mystery host issues. I don't want to dive too deep into that because I promise I will go over it with you guys again. um I haven't done okay I haven't done a mystery host since this new pay to play information came out. So I used to just pick randomly. Now, since knowing this information, I will have to reevaluate how I pick the winner. Um, but I can tell you for sure those two things, that it's not out of compliance to say that you're having a mystery host party. That is okay. But the winner cannot be random. Okay. You have to let them know. Okay. Um, so Dolores, I don't create an event for a mystery host or anything like that. I usually just do it inside my VIP. So I'm just going about my business normally, but then every day I'll put up a post that says I have $50 in, or the mystery host is up to $50 in rewards and such, whatever. I'll tell them what the rewards are up to every single day in my VIP. But if you do create an event, then you would go on with your normal party posting. Okay. All right. So themed nights. Themed nights are super fun. So if you have a girlfriend who you're like, she's obsessed with, okay, friends, right? So you could say, let's have a Zoom party with your girlfriends. Come dressed as your favorite friend's character or whatever. And we're going to jump on at 7. I'm going to show you guys some Scentsy products, and it'll be such a fun night, whatever. Or your friend who likes to wear pink, you can pick any theme, you guys. Like, we're coming up to Valentine's Day. You could do a pink and red theme. You could do a Valentine's Day theme, anything. And you can be the host of this. You could do this and do a mystery host and say, and have people come onto a Zoom and show them Scentsy products, be talking, have a wine night, have coffee chat, whatever you want to do with your VIPs or your host or your parties or whatever. Theme it. People love themes. Okay. This is a huge thing for a lot of people. I haven't necessarily tried a specific theme besides, like, at my bingo party, sometimes I'll do a theme, but a theme night sounds like a blast. Okay. And I bet you have customers who would love to do a theme night. So, like, around Halloween, you can come dressed up. Like, there's endless possibilities that you could do. Okay. So, and it doesn't have to be on Zoom. You could do it on your VIP and say, everybody take a picture, get dressed up, take a picture of your wine, whatever, and do it like that. And you could do that inside an event. Okay. It doesn't matter necessarily how you do it, but theme nights are really fun. And then the last one that I have is specifically geared towards where we are right now, which is the end of a catalog season. So I love these, and they're super fun in person. So, like, really crossing my fingers we get to do it again in person. But the first chance last glance type of parties. And you could do this going live in your VIP. You could do it on a Zoom. You could just do like 2 days where you do a first chance last glance. And what it basically is that you are showing off what's left, what's going away of our catalog, and then you're giving people a sneak peek into the new catalog. Okay, so when I had people come over to my house, I would have all the testers from the catalog that's going away. I would have those out. People could place their last minute orders. But then once they did, I sent them home with a new catalog. Now, if you did it, you could, everybody who places an order in the last week, I will mail you a catalog, or I'll send you a picture of a page, or, whatever. There's so many ways that you can do it. But the first glance last chance is a really fun way for your customers to get that last opportunity to snag their favorites from this catalog. Like, trust me, your customers are attached to something in this catalog that is going away, and it is your job to tell them about it. And then give them the opportunity, the exclusive opportunity. And that's the big thing about this, is making it exclusive, giving them the chance to look at the new catalog. Okay. Because this is like a super exciting time. You transition, if you haven't been a part of it, February comes in hot. Okay. It is so exciting to see a new catalog and for your customers to be excited and see all the new goods. So having that opportunity for them is really amazing. So if we're talking about you getting your customers to book parties around that or whatever, start talking to them about that now. Okay. Start booking those parties for the end of the month now. And asking them, do you want to go on Zoom? I can, whatever, show you this warmer, show you that warmer, and then I can show you the catalog or send out the catalogs, whatever you're comfortable with. But definitely be having those conversations with your customers about that type of thing now. Okay. Okay. I think I'm done. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. But yeah, you guys let me know if you have any questions, and Alex is gonna take the wheel now.
So much info. But truly though, since he was designed as a party planning company, that means that our businesses work best when we are sharing our products and our fragrances and the opportunity and the lifestyle in a party setting. And back when Since he started, obviously I don't think they thought much about Facebook parties or how like the online community would evolve, and most of it was face to face. And honestly, like that's the best. But as things have evolved, so have parties. And so it's just important to keep in mind, right? I think a lot of times when people join, people are like, do I have to book parties? And like, no, you don't, but it is the quickest way to grow your business, the quickest way to get outside of your circle of family and friends, the quickest way to really kind of develop a customer group or systems with your customers, right? Like you can't really do the most with 5 to 10 customers who are just purchasing, right? It's a really great way to expand your business and share Scentsy and show the opportunity and share Scentsy with a lot of people at one time. So I personally love parties. Our Facebook party is my favorite thing ever in the world to do. No, but they have grown my business so much. I have gained so many new customers, so many people in my VIP group, so many even recruits on here. April. I met April through a Facebook party, and she's about to promote to lead in the next day or two. Okay. Had it not been from that Facebook party, I would have never met April. Okay. And I'm sure that you guys have the same experiences with people on your team as well. Facebook parties and, the bingos and the mystery host and the theme parties, they're all really great ways to expand and grow your business. And so, not for nothing, especially if you've never tried any of that, just try. Okay. Just try it and see how it works for you, because you might find that it worked really well. And by the end of it, you love the results that it gave you. Okay. So, I do love a good party, but also I'm super big on the unparty, right? Taking the party out of the equation and trying different creative ways to still meet new customers and network and get referrals and get new eyes in my business. And so I want to tell you a few different ways that I've done it and that you can then try to do it with your own things that you have around the house and the networks you already have, how you can kind of build off of those. Okay. And super quickly, I'm just going to go through these ideas, right? So one idea, especially with the new catalog right around the corner, is grab bags. Okay. And if you're new here or you've never done a grab bags are basically where you grab a handful or two of testers, you put them in a bag with a catalog. If you have a hand cream, throw a hand cream in there. If you have an extra warmer or a scent of the month bar, throw that bar in there, right? Put a few of the products that you have extra in the grab bag and then get it out to your local customers. Okay. So, one way that I do it is I'll take a nice, pretty picture of it and I say, I have a grab bag with the new catalog and spring and summer scents. Who wants to borrow it for the weekend? Okay. And I have local customers who want to smell the new scents, right? And so I'll have someone volunteer to take it. I'll message them, drop it off at their house, and I let them know, like, hey, you know, make a list of all the scents that you like. If you want to take it with you to work or share it with any friends and family, I'll give you free Scentsy for any orders you collect. Okay. Now, this could mean that they give me one order for $30 and like I'll give you a cent circle or a cent in the month bar, or maybe I'll let you keep that bar that's in the grab bag, right? Or maybe they come back with $200 worth of orders and then you get $20 in free Scentsy and a half off credit, right? But I bring them the testers so they can smell them. I bring them the new products so they can use them, but then when they have them, I give them an extra incentive, right? Or maybe in that grab bag, I'll put in 3 order forms and I say, if you can get all 3 order forms filled out, I'll give you a free counter clean, right? And so that's their order and 2 of their friends or their neighbor and a coworker, right? And then they get a free counter clean for giving me those orders. And I just put those orders into a local order and use my rewards and get them their counter clean. Grab bags can look so many different ways. It could be you're lending your testers to your neighbor for the weekend. It could be you're giving it to your friend who you know is still working, like in an office or something. It could be a teacher that takes it to work and shares it with the other teachers. It could be someone who's going to their mom's house for the weekend that they want to show their mom the new scents, right? To me, I don't like to put rules on grab bags, okay? Grab bags are designed for my local customers to smell the testers. Even if it's just them, they're smelling the testers and I get my bag of testers back with an order. Okay, that's a win for me, but I'm always going to put in the additional offer. Like, if you want to collect any orders, let me know. If you want me to set you up a link and then you can take a picture of these testers and post them on Facebook and say, I just smelt the new spring and summer scents. Like, these are my favorite 6, right? Because people love Scentsy, especially when they see it, like someone else is raving about it. People are going to jump in like, oh, I love Scentsy. Like, oh, I bet that smells good, right? And then they have their own personal link that they can share too. Okay, so those are just some ways that, especially when you get your new testers, that you can share them and try to get a little bit more out of your customers smelling the testers. Okay, so I love grab bags. I do them all the time. I've done them since I've joined. Do them anywhere from really simple with like literally just testers in a catalog, or even just samples in catalogs, to like a big old bag with a wall fan and pods and a counter clean or a small tub of washer was for them to use. Okay. So start where you are. As you get rewards from your parties, you'll have different products that you could put in the grab bags. Um, but those are a really great way to get your local customers smelling the scents, especially right now, and then kind of build off of that. And I love that. Another thing that I do for people who aren't local is I'll offer catalog mailers. And so, you could do that right now with the fall and winter stuff, or even at the beginning of the new catalog or the end of this month with the new catalog. And what I recommend, and I recommend like my new consultants or anyone who's kind of hitting a wall in their business to do this as well, is take a few catalogs, put some samples on it, maybe put some confetti down or something, take a picture and post it on your personal page and say, like, I have some Scentsy catalogs and some samples. Who wants them? Right. And I can guarantee if you do that, you will have people interested in getting some samples. You can even do this in some local groups you're in, like if you're in mom groups or interest groups, like for dogs or for cleaning tips or whatever groups you're in on Facebook, you could offer it there as well. Just make sure, like some groups have certain rules and such, but you can find groups that you can post that in, but start on your personal page and see who would be interested in getting a catalog that you haven't talked to already. Okay. Um, that's a really great way. I remember when the whole pandemic started, I my business grew significantly just by offering to send out catalogs and samples in my Instagram stories. Okay. I had so many people that were following me on Instagram that really have never bought from me, never showed interest in Scentsy, and all of a sudden they're home and they're working from home and their kids are home and everyone's home and they want their house to smell good and they're seeing my stories and all of a sudden they want a catalog and samples, and then I'm following up and then they're ordering and then they're booking parties and then they're joining. Okay, so it's a cycle. How you network with people, it really evolves into this awesome cycle of building trust and growing off of that. But simply offering samples in a catalog is a really great way to get in the door to having new conversations. Okay. So while that's maybe not a way to get a lot of orders from sending out one catalog, it's a really great way to build, and one customer can turn into one VIP customer who can then turn into a hostess and a recruit that can really rock your business. Okay. So don't underestimate the value of one. Okay. So I always say, like, if you haven't um, offered to send out catalogs to your main people, not, I'm not talking your VIP group, I'm talking your personal page, your Instagram, a group of local people or non-local, like networks that you're in, offer to send out some samples and make it appealing, like have the catalog with the samples there. There's something to be said about like visual appeal. Okay. If you just find a flyer that says like want a free sample, like that's not as appealing as someone seeing a physical catalog with a sample next to it, like you took the picture. Okay. So I would definitely say like reach out to your people and offer to mail them a catalog. Of course, it's an expense to mail a catalog and some samples, but if you are getting a return from it, if you're following up with them, it's well worth it. And it's a business deduction too. Okay. Um, I also think personal shopping links are amazing. So if you have a customer who's buying Scentsy on a regular basis, or even if they're not, you can offer personal shopping links. And so what that is on the workstation, you basically open them up their own party. They're the host of their own party. You could call it like Abby's shopping link, and you give that link to Abby, and you have Abby share it with her friends and family, post stuff on her Facebook, like her favorite warmer when she changes her wax, or the catalog and samples I sent her, or something, and post her personal shopping link. Okay. The more that person talks about it and is excited, the more their friends will be. Therefore, their friends will browse and shop. And not for nothing, they can shop under their own personal shopping link and rack up the rewards for themselves. Okay. I know Brianna's had really awesome success with the personal shopping links. I have as well. I really love them, especially if you have someone who is not local and they're paying shipping anyways. A personal shopping link is a really great option, and you can just offer them. Like it takes nothing on your end other than setting it up and giving them some tips on how to make it successful. So I really love those. It's a really great way to have other people sharing Scentsy on your behalf and sharing your website, right? Michelle says she had someone join after doing one. So how awesome is that, right? So yes, Bree, you're right. There are some awesome videos on personal shopping links as well. Another thing that's really fun, and I haven't done this yet, although I have tried, and I'm not going to give up, is to offer a like break room Scentsy party. So a way that you could do this is like find a local mom group or ask your friend who's a teacher or who works in an office, like, hey, would it be cool if I come set up a warmer and some wax and bring you some donuts or coffee or cookies one day on your lunch break, and I'll leave it there for a day or two? And that allows them to smell the Scentsy because you're going to set up a warmer. You bring in donuts to butter them up, and then they get to smell the testers on their own time. Leave some order forms there, a business card, right? You tell the person that you know, like, hey, like if they're really interested, like add them to my VIP group, right? So they can see more. But this would be a really awesome way for you to kind of get into a whole like group of people, right? And that could be something that you do on a regular basis. Okay. There are so many different ways that you can encourage additional orders or network with new people. You just kind of have to think outside of the box, especially in times like this, right? And one of the most important things that you could gain from the current customers you have now is referrals, right? Like we've all heard the term like referrals are the best compliments, and it's true. When you have a customer just totally bragging on you and doting on you, like that speaks volumes. And honestly, guys, you can just simply ask. You can ask for referrals. I see realtors asking for referrals all the time. Realtors will beg on their knees for referrals because they recognize how important they are and how monumental they are. A recommendation from someone you trust is priceless. So if you are following up with your customers, just simply ask them, like, if you know anyone else looking for Scentsy, like, please send them my way. I'd love to reward you for any referrals you get me. right? And you can decide what that is, a bar, a scent circle, a shout out. Like it really doesn't matter what you're giving them, but tell them like it means so much. Or when you place an order for someone, like make sure you snap a picture and post it on your social media when you get it. It truly means so much to my business. Like, truly, just ask for referrals because if you can get your customers posting in their stories or posting on their personal pages and tagging you, talking about how well you packaged the order or the fun mail you send them or the recommendation you gave them that was so perfect, people are watching. People love Scentsy. You know what people are looking for though? They're looking for a good Scentsy consultant. A lot of the times people fall in love with Scentsy and then their consultant drops the ball and so it's not convenient for them to purchase Scentsy anymore. They don't know where to go, they don't know how to order, they don't know the systems that a consultant has, right? You may not think that you have a system for your orders, but like if you're placing orders on a regular basis or you're following up or you place orders when we have LTO launches, those are systems for your orders that your customers get used to. And your customers rely on that. That is convenient to them. And so if you can be introduced as a bomb Scentsy consultant, like that will set you apart. Okay. People want that. People love Scentsy. You just have to be that awesome Scentsy consultant. And so there are tons of different ways to network your business. You guys, Bree and I went over probably 20 different ideas. Take something and try it, right? Give it a full good try and see what it does for your business. And if it's working, run with it. If it's not, try something else. But the last thing that you should do is give up. The last thing you should do is give up or just say, I'm not going to do it. I'll just keep floating by placing an order when my customer says like, "Hey, are you still doing Scentsy? I need to order." Okay? Don't do that. Be the consultant that shows up for their business and you're trying new things. Like I try new things in my business all the time. And guess what? They fail sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, "Nope, not doing that again. That didn't work." But the last thing I'm ever going to do is just like completely give up or like play it safe or just like do the minimum because I'm in it for the long haul. I know what Scentsy can do. I know that it's not easy. I know that it's not overnight, but I know that I will be rewarded for my hard work and consistency. And so I keep trucking. And so that's all that we're asking of you guys is to try new things and keep trucking along because you will find what works for you. You will find your groove. And then, 3, 6 months from now, you're going to be sitting here telling other people, like, try this. This worked really well for me. Right. So just keep doing what you're doing or trying new things if it's not working. And that's pretty much all I have. I think there's a million ways to work your business. It's just finding what you're going to try. And so hopefully you guys got some awesome ideas. And if you have any questions, just let us know in the chat. While Bree was talking, I was pulling some resources from YouTube and our team page on the scratch off cards, the scavenger hunt, bingo parties, mock Facebook parties, hostess coaching, personal shopping links, grab bags, networking, mystery host. I pulled all of that and I'm just posting it right now into the post that Brianna posted today. And so I will, when I upload this to YouTube and post the link tomorrow, I'll also copy and paste that comment onto that post as well. That way it's all right there so you can reference some of the content that we're talking about if you want more info about some of that stuff. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. I'm going to check the chat too. Yeah, Brie, I've gotten a lot of customers because of lazy consultants too. And I don't like to listen to the drama of their horror stories, but there are horror stories, you guys. And so, yeah, that's why it's very important that you just stay consistent. Okay. Bree, is there anything else that you want to add? Did I miss anything?
Nope. I'm done talking for today.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle, that's so awesome.
The mystery, I will do a video this week on, because I don't think we have an updated version of a mystery host. And so I will do a video this week with like the in compliance guidelines and how I do it and all of that. So I will get that done this week and have it on the True Life page, just so you know. And Leslie, let me just say, in the beginning, I used to do referrals. Like you would get a free bar, all that kind of stuff. Like I had like a reward system. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I just found it really hard to keep up with. Like it was hard to keep track and whatever. And so now what I do, it's just kind of a run of the mill. I mean, it's not great as far as like pen and paper keeping track goes, but for me, it's just easy to, when somebody comes to me and they're like, yeah, my sister-in-law sent me or whatever, I then immediately go and text or message that person and be like, thank you so much for sending your sister, your whatever to me. I'm going to send you something in the mail as a thank you. And usually that's a car bar, or if I have their favorite scent on hand, I'm going to send them a bar of it, or I might send them a hand soap, just depending on how big that order was. I kind of gauge it that way, but I always send them a message and say, thank you so much for the referral. That means the most to me. I'm going to send you something in the mail. Even something as simple as just a thank you postcard is everything, right? That's just like the icing on the cake to the customer service that we're talking about. So, that is my system that I do now. Not much of a system, but definitely make sure you extend gratitude to whoever the referral came from, and then do whatever works for you in your business to reward it. Because right,
Yeah.
we want that repeated. So how do we reward it? That's right for our business, but reward it so that it keeps happening. Okay.
Yeah. I do the same as Brie. I kind of fly by the seat of my pants when it comes to referrals, but I do that the same, and I try to do it in a timely manner. Like, hey, girl, your sister just messaged me with her order. Like, thank you so much for sending them to me. Like, I'm gonna send you a bar as a thank you. And they're like, oh, really? You don't have to do that. I'm like, no, I do. I totally appreciate you so much, right? And like, it really goes a long way. Um, and I also see Courtney ask, how many parties do you book each week personally? So there are some weeks and some months that I don't have any parties, right? But my goal is to place a 500 PRV party every single Monday. That's my goal, no matter what. I place orders on Mondays. That's the system I've made for my business. My goal is 500 PRV every month. So whether that's I'm hustling on follow-ups to collect orders, or I'm doing my personal Alex's Boxed Creations, and I'm closing it on a Monday, or we have LTO launches, or I have 2 grab bags closing on a Monday. It doesn't matter where that PRV comes from for me. My goal is 500 PRV every single Monday. In addition to that, like if it's a slow month or if I need to book parties, then I don't like to do multiple parties in a week. With the exception of Facebook parties, I'll sometimes do 2 hostesses at once. Um, so yeah, it really just varies, but I say if you're not in a position yet where you are closing parties weekly, then make it a goal to have 1 party every week. So then you can be closing parties weekly. I think that would be a good starting point. And also it just varies on like what types of parties you're doing. And also don't rely solely on parties because they can flop. That's where you have to be sharing in your customer group or with your customers and following up and personally reaching out and things like that too. So that's my suggestion for that. And I also saw you signed up for a coaching call just now too. So we'll talk tomorrow as well. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's a wrap on our first Dream Team chat of 2021. We have another one on the 26th of the month, and then next Wednesday morning at 6:30 California time, 8:30 Texas time, plus and minus where you are on the map. We have a coffee chat in the morning. I think it's going to be on Zoom, right, Bree? So that's next Wednesday, and then the following Tuesday, the 26th, we'll be right back here. Topic to be determined. If you are a director and above, we have our director chat on the 21st. So that's next Thursday. So those are dates to keep up with as far as our True Life team goes. But thank you guys so very much for showing up tonight. It really means so much. I know it's late for some of you guys. I know it's witching hour for some of you mamas with little kids and dinner and all the things. So we really appreciate you guys showing up, and we will chat with y'all tomorrow. Okay. Have a great night, guys. Bye.